My name is Daoud Abubakar. This summer I worked on 2 feature films. I've been assisting you on your documentary, you being Nijay Toba, and I've helped you. I'm in the process of continuing to help make this film about Jewish culture in the Bronx with a talented film artist, filmstress, and in the past, about a year or two ago, I worked on a documentary called 110 Morningside with another filmstress named Nikki. Well, in terms of what I was involved with in the creative process, I would say the film this summer on Lorraine Hansberry. I haven't seen the finished product yet. It's in the final stages of being edited. It's in post-production right now. I worked on a film called Asada. I wasn't really involved with the creative process, but that's also in post-production, but that's in the early stages of post-production, so I have no idea what's going on with that. Some of the other projects in the past, I was working on the production of like the last season of the Chappelle Show. There was some interesting shows there. I was in the staff area, but I really wasn't in the creative area, but I enjoyed working on the Chappelle Show, meeting a lot of interesting people in front of and behind the camera. So that was pretty interesting. Not so much the people that I've come across in traveling were mostly people who had political ideas or social ideas that help put me in the framework of wanting to do films that would have or do some type of artistic renditions that reflected something that could share their experiences outside of the places where I came across some of these people who mostly were in various parts of the Caribbean and as close to South America as you can possibly get, Curacao, Aruba, Trinidad, places like that. So yeah, I guess the first person of note the first people of note that were very inspiring to me in my travels were the Stable Singers. Ran into them in Trinidad, a long time ago. They were on tour, and I did some reasoning with Pop Staples. Pops is a very colorful person, and they gave me a lot of inspiration. Mavis Staples, she was very inspiring to me. They took time to talk to me, and I spent some time with them and their nieces. Taught their niece how to swim, and that was a lot of fun. Because they traveled as a family, and so it was a good experience meeting them down there in Trinidad. So yeah, I enjoyed. I got some inspiration from that. Well, let's see. Some of the people. It goes back. See, a lot of initially, a lot of people that I met in the entertainment industry weren't famous. They were active, but not necessarily famous. But that was then. Through their efforts, they've gotten more attention, and so I guess you could say they're people who've gotten famous. Like biggest name in that regard that comes to mind is Clarence Williams III. Him and his wife, ex-wife now, Gloria Foster. We all lived on the Lower East Side together, and there was a lot of people down there that were involved with the Negro Ensemble. Diane Sands, Brock Peters, and numerous people of that caliber initially, who were stage actors at first. James Earl Jones, and these are people that my mother knew. But then, as I got older, and the people that I came across when we moved to the west side. I lived around the corner from Robert De Niro. Elliot Gould lived on my block, and Robert Earl Jones, who's the father of James Earl Jones, lived around the corner. He's the one who really introduced me into acting. And then there was going to school. My typing teacher, his name is Benjamin Rickson, was Benjamin Rickson. He changed his name to a Muslim name and moved down to Florida. And at that school, I went to school with Keenan Wayans. I guess everybody knows him as Keenan Ivory Wayans. I don't know where he got the ivory from, but you know, it's neither here nor there. And you know, he's got a large family, as I'm sure some people know. But I knew Keenan, his brother Dwayne, his sister Kim, and some members of his family. Damon, I didn't really know him too well. And you know,
it seems like you have a very colorful background,
yeah.
And you're not really putting it out there as much, but you might not think it's as colorful, but a lot of people that might hear it would probably say so. You said you didn't know many people, but I see that as being a lot. It seems like, as you know, being at a young age, you were exposed to people that, you know, are now in the industry and had a lot of things to do with shaping the industry, and, you know, especially from an African American point, you know, so.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, I wouldn't necessarily say ultimately, but eventually, I'd like to, you know, it would be an honor for me to make films with people who I've grown up with. I would love to make a film with Keenan Wayans or Louis Guzman, another friend of mine who I grew up with, Daphne, Ruben Vega. And these are people that I grew up with, and I'd like to reacclimate myself with them in a form of making a film with them, a collective project that, you know, would bring us together on that scale. But you know, that aside, I would love to tell some stories from back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s that, you know, significant stories that, you know, I don't think have been told. Professor Bowers, who wrote the book on Oscar Michaud, she encouraged me to make films about the Black experience. She doesn't feel that enough of those stories have been told, so, you know, I'd like to honor her by doing that.
Interesting.
Well, if it was 3 words, I'd say watch your back. But, you know, it would be difficult to sum that up in 3 words, but having used those 3 words, I'd like to follow that up by saying, you know, my advice would be to be round yourself out. If you're going to get into the medium, round yourself out, learn about the world that you live in. Because if you're going to be a filmmaker, yeah, you can make money doing commercial projects, but you know, if you want to make good films, make films that make sense, and they'll have more lasting impact, and they'll have more future than you know, a silly commercial venture that will be on the shelf today and off the shelf tomorrow. You know, make a film make films that people will want to study as time goes by.
With that being said, I can see that you have a prosperous future, and I know that I'm looking forward to making a great film with you.
Yes,
Thanks a lot for the interview. Appreciate it.